An entrepreneur is not necessarily a business owner. It's not necessarily a startup founder. Entrepreneurs are people who is fixated on helping people and solving problems. My name is Paul O'Brien. I work for MediaTek Ventures, based here in Austin, Texas. I'm the CEO. The vision is that we know we can teach startup founders how to be more successful. There's an exceptionally high failure rate amongst entrepreneurs and startups, and yet we know how startups are effectively developed, at least in the early days. Marketing is the most important thing that matters. When most people hear the word marketing, they tend to think it means advertising and promotions, and it doesn't. When you're a startup founder, the most important thing that you can do is focus on understanding your market, understanding your competitors, knowing who the investors are. The internet broke everything 25 years ago. Everything from the way fintech and finance works, to the way cities are developed and designed, to the way we communicate, to marketing. But it's really just most important that startup founders understand how easily they can connect with people in their community, in their industry, in their sector, thanks to the internet, and also how easily they can grow their own community and their own demand and their own user base, focus on the right opportunities, and avoid threats and risks and mistakes that have already been made. By learning what those are is easily the most important thing that people need to focus on. In our case, we run a 3-month startup incubator that begins with ideation, vision, mission, the very fundamental kind of questions to help a founder realize that they're not actually just building a business. They're not really just developing a product to try to solve something in the market. They have to be visionary. And through the next 3 months, we go through every subject: legal, cap tables and funding and finance. We talk about software development. We teach marketing, rest assured. And in the span of 3 months, we go from the very early stage of I have an idea to actually launching a company that's far more likely to be successful. We've got about 2,000 mentors throughout the world who benefit and help us as well. I like to encourage founders to appreciate that everyone is investing in them. Everyone is investing in them. That has an opportunity. That also comes with it a cost of capital, for example. But at the same time, it helps founders realize and appreciate that the investors who actually do just write checks, who are angels or venture capitalists, you, the founder, can expect and even demand a lot more of those people, because it's so much more important to get experience and mentorship and advice and education out of the people who do invest in you than just a check. Both. Oh, bold. Bold. Am I bold? I suppose I am bold. I like to characterize that as appreciating a distinction of the word entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is not necessarily a business owner. An entrepreneur is not necessarily a startup founder. Entrepreneurs are people who have this psychology of someone who is fixated on helping people and solving problems. And that's where the boldness, I think, comes from in people like myself. We are just determined to make things better. We don't have jobs in the traditional sense. Boldness is an outcome of being so passionate about changing the world and making it better and helping startup founders in our case, that yeah, it does look like I'm bold, but I think it's just a natural personality trait that I have.